I've run it. When I first started running, I ran some like really janky shoe models where I was like, it works, you know?
It works, yeah, I agree.
Why not? Let's just do it. Hello and welcome to Runnah, running on Cape Cod, Massachusetts and beyond. I'm Juliana, your host. Welcome back, friends. This week, I am really excited because we have one of our Falmouth now natives, and also a recently completed 50 marathons in 50 states completionist, maybe? Completionist, maybe?
I don't know how.
What does it say? It says finisher? Finisher?
Yeah.
We have Ian Fernandez. Welcome, Ian.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hello, Joanna.
I'm excited to have you. I think this
you.
would be fun.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, I mean, we met, like 3 or 4 months ago when I came up on you on the bike path and I was like, hello, friend, and you were like, go away.
I know. That's true. I was like, who's this girl? I was like, this girl looks familiar. I saw her in the
At one of the running club
Facebook
things or something.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's her.
Yeah. I was like, what are you doing? And you're like, I'm running. I was like, uh-huh.
That's awesome.
Which is more than fair, but I'm super excited to have you here with me today.
Thank you so much.
I feel like I don't know anyone else I don't think I know anyone else who's completed the 50 marathons in 50 states. I know some of 50 half marathon completionists, but I like not to belittle that in any capacity. That's still very challenging.
It's challenging, yeah, I agree.
But I don't think I think you're the only person I know who's done all the 50 marathons in 50 states. That's very impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, but let's first talk about your origin story when it comes to running. Where did little baby Ian start out? Like where's the running come into your life?
So I first started running. I'm from the Philippines. I sweat a lot. So I'm scared to go to the gym, and because when I go to the gym, I just flood everything. So and the only thing I think about good exercise for me to be fit was go running.
Yeah, going outside and like running and not having to worry about like how much you're sweating. And
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel you.
And my first job in the Philippines, they have a running club and been running. I'm doing a lot of races that time, but it's mostly 5 and 10Ks.
Is that common to like have a running club like at the place that you work or like near the place that you work in the Philippines?
It's more like a HR thing that they want to do, have people engage in like a community, make people stay in the job. Which didn't work for me because I left.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like you probably don't have that job anymore.
Yeah.
Now, how old were you when you started running?
That was like 2021. Yeah.
Oh, 2021?
No, 21.
Oh, 21.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, you finished all 50 still.
No.
Like, I know you're a little bit wacky. And we were kind of already talking about just the speed at which you went through completing some of these marathons.
No.
Like time, like days apart wise, not necessarily
No.
I don't know what your marathon times typically look like. I feel like you're probably in the same realm as me, like somewhere in like the 3:30 to like 4:30 range.
Not anymore.
Oh, okay.
4:30. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
My PR was 3:37, and then the recent one was 4:11. So.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Like my first marathons were like closer to like the 3:40 range, and now we're kind of hitting like the 3:50, 4:10 range, give or take, depending on the day.
Depending on the day, agreed. Yes.
Yeah, and the course and everything too.
True.
But so you start running while you're working in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And what kind of happened after that? Because clearly you're not in the Philippines anymore.
I went to grad school and also in the Philippines, and then
Okay.
I gained a lot of weight also because just the stress of going to grad school. I eat a lot, but then I was working on a job with the University of Hawaii.
Okay.
Yeah, and then when I finished my master's, I got a job there, and then ever since I moved to Hawaii, I always have like a fire in me that I want to do a marathon.
Yeah.
I want to do a marathon one day, and then my friend did a marathon one year, and then I was like, oh, next year I want to do one.
Yeah.
That's why I signed up for the Honolulu Marathon.
Yeah.
In 2016.
That was your first marathon?
That was my first marathon.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And you're clearly from, I can only guess, one of those people who like, you finish the marathon and you're like, I could do that better. Like, I would like to do that again.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how challenging it ends up being.
I mean, the first year was like, oh, I'm might not do it again. And I was like, and then the next day I signed up for a race.
Yeah,
so stupid.
that sounds about right. That sounds about right. But yeah, so you run the Honolulu Marathon. You clearly already have, like, I mean, if you run in one of the states, you have a state down. But you have probably one, I would say, for most people, one of the more challenging states down straight out the gate.
It's Hawaii, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing about my initial goal was, like, after I finished Honolulu, my initial goal was to run a marathon in every island, like every county.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, oh, well, there's only 4 counties in Hawaii.
Yeah.
It's like, and then I signed up for Maui, and then I signed up for Big Island, and then I was like, I finished them. Oh, it's done.
Yeah.
And then the 2 years after 2016, like 2018, I was like, oh, maybe I should venture because I'm finishing my Kauai this year.
Yeah.
And then I signed up for, because I'm having like a work trip in Oregon.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, oh, maybe I should do a marathon when I'm working on my work trip.
Yeah.
So that's why I signed up for my second out of state, which was in Arizona, which I did the Lost Dutchman Marathon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I feel like you've reached a certain level of crazy when you're like, I'm going on a work trip. Not only am I going to work on this trip, but I'm also going to run a marathon.
I agreed.
Yeah.
I did that a lot. Now,
what do you do for work?
So I work as an engineer at Woodsole right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm
cool.
doing the same work when I was in Hawaii. So I'm working on HF radar that map ocean currents.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, it makes sense that you went from somewhere that's largely like aquatic, like ecosystems, like Hawaii, to another largely aquatic ecosystem like Woodsole, kind of Falmouth area.
Yeah.
That tracks. That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, they're both expensive, but I do love my job. So
yeah, it sounds like to me like the running, just temperatures here might be a little bit more conducive for you than say Hawaii, where it's probably a little bit warmer and the sweating is probably a little bit more profuse, I would say.
I mean,
it's not great having like some of the roads frozen over for a part of the year here,
no,
but like,
I hate that.
Yeah, same. It's terrible. That's when like you end up just doing all your runs on the bike path, and you're just like, again.
It's getting boring, but I mean, it works.
Yeah, it's better than not going out there.
That's true.
But yeah, so you run you said the Arizona, the Lost Dutchman Marathon, and what through these trips and through like starting running marathons, what kind of like led you to, I guess, the thought and then the follow through of wanting to run all 50 states?
I mean, because like I told you earlier, like when I finished my Hawaii, it's like, oh, I'm gonna finish all my 4 counties in Hawaii. Maybe I should do 50 states now. Yeah. Because it's much bigger. I mean, I can see, besides doing the marathon, I have the opportunity to like see what the state can offer, like visit the national parks. Yeah, for sure. So when I went to Arizona, I actually went to Grand Canyon.
Yeah, you've probably seen a lot of really cool things.
I did hike. The next day after the marathon, I went to like the Flatiron Mountain. It was so beautiful and also scary because I was doing it alone because I travel alone also.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as someone who also travels alone too, like I feel like when I initially started traveling alone, like sometimes it definitely comes with a certain level of like, especially as a female traveling alone,
sure.
Like nervousness because you don't really know exactly where you're going.
Agreed.
But it's just, I feel like it's so empowering.
Correct, yes.
Once you actually like get kind of like into a groove with traveling alone and just build up a little bit of that confidence muscle.
True, I agree with you. Yeah, correct.
Because now, I mean, I've been traveling alone now for at least 5 years, and like I don't really want to travel with other people now because I'm like, what? I have to follow your schedule? That's dumb. I'm not going to do that.
I mean, you can't do a lot of things when there's someone there. No offense, people.
Oh yeah. If it's just you, you can kind of follow your own schedule too. Yeah. Which is kind of nice.
I mean, you can tire yourself out with no problem.
Oh yeah. I mean, when I went to Disney World recently, like I went through that park and you can probably understand this because you were just there. Like I think I did like 15 rides in Magic Kingdom plus like 5 other things in one day. Like I was there for like almost 12 hours just like
crazy.
Going. Which is exhausting at a baseline, just being in the Disney parks because it's so overstimulating.
There's a lot, a lot of lines and people.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of lines. Did you get to go to the parks when you were down there recently?
No, sadly, I just went to
the marathon.
I went to the marathon, but I did Universal Studios.
Oh, I love Universal Studios.
Yeah.
Harry Potter is my favorite. I love Harry Potter.
Also, I went to like see the manatees. So we swam with the manatees in Florida.
Oh, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I haven't done that.
And then we went to the Space Coast to see, like, we saw...
Oh, see, like the NASA stuff?
Yeah, the NASA stuff. And actually, when we went there, we saw one
see that rocket launch?
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
So I don't really have a plan that weekend, but everything went to, something nice. Like celebrating my 50 states.
Yeah.
Swam with the manatees, saw some launch.
Yeah.
And finished my 50, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a pretty good way to celebrate finishing all 50 states.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. But yeah, so you kind of like being a completionist, it sounds like.
I did cry though, which is kind of normal.
Yeah, I mean, being an engineer kind of makes sense to me that you would like to like start a project and finish a project, and you're like at least a little bit methodical about things. And just from all the other engineers that I know, that's very much so like a kind of like slightly at least analytical brain that like solving problems and like, okay, this problem is now done, and now I move on to this one, and this is done, and I move on to the next one.
True, I agree, yeah.
And just like always trying to like improve on the process as well too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, everything is still a learning experience for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done 70 marathons. I still learn a lot every time I do it.
70 marathons. That's a lot of marathons. Holy crapola.
Wait, I don't know. Yeah, maybe 70. I forgot.
That makes sense to me math-wise, because if you did the 50 states and then you've run other ones here and there.
I mean, I did Hawaii 13 times.
13 times?
Yeah.
Holy crap. Jesus.
So I tried to like do all the races in Hawaii, like all the marathons and half.
Yeah. It sounds like you did. I mean, there might be some since you moved away that have since started. You never know.
I mean, there's least, I think, one that I haven't done because they canceled since COVID. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Do you have family that lives in Hawaii?
Not anymore.
Okay.
My aunt died when I left.
Oh,
so
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
And the rest of your family is still in the Philippines largely?
I have family in the Philippines. I have family in Texas and Connecticut and New York. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of spread out all over the place.
Yeah.
Isn't a bad thing.
Yeah. Some of them went with me to Tokyo, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, that's super exciting. Well, that's something that doesn't necessarily fit into the 50 states thing, but it's still like really freaking cool.
They actually never saw me run a marathon, so it's just kind of...
Oh, really? That's so interesting. I mean, I think my family's seen me maybe 3 times, four times maybe. But I haven't run as many marathons as you.
Okay.
I haven't reached that level of insanity yet. We're working on it. Right now I'm training for an ultra, so we'll see how that goes.
Ooh, scary.
Yeah. It's really not that much bad. It's on trails and it's a 30-miler, but like as you know from running like Disney or like any of the big marathons or even Tokyo, which I will say like the Tokyo, like walking to and from the starting line, definitely not as crazy as like the one in Boston and Chicago and like New York and stuff.
Yeah, it's much better than the other two.
Yeah, it's just a lot more like organized and just well run. And oh god, I saw like your stuff for Tokyo, and I knew you were in Tokyo, and I was like, I want to go to Tokyo. I miss being in Tokyo. It was so fun being in Tokyo.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. I like the food. I mean, I do love ramen.
Yeah. What did you think of the Tokyo Marathon overall? What was your experience running that?
It's kind of weird because people are running in both directions.
It's a lot of out and backs.
It's like, it's kind of fun seeing people, and it's compared to like the small races. I don't see people from far away. This one is like you're just everywhere.
Yeah. That's actually a really good way to put it. There's just people everywhere.
Yeah,
both sides of the road.
It was tricky in one way because I had to stop for a water station and people were just pushing you, which is kind of like, I mean, it's not a bad experience, but I understand how they feel, even though I give my sign like I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna walk.
Was it the people who were handing out water that were trying to push you along?
No, it's the runners. Because I'm trying to do a stop, and I want to make sure that I'm not. I usually leave my hands when I do my stop.
Yeah, which I feel like is a respectful and like universally accepted signal of like, hey, I'm stopping right here.
Yeah. But then I do understand that they're doing their run and they're on their pace, and I mean it's all crowded.
Yeah. Tokyo is like, it's crowded, but not in the way that like New York is, where it's like overwhelmingly crowded.
Yeah.
Like it's just like Tokyo's crowded, but it feels like you can mentally manage the crowd there.
Correct.
New York City, you have no chance of mentally managing the crowd or anything around you in New York.
Yeah, New York, I forgot because I got a fever that day.
Oh, really? So you were kind of like up on a cloud the whole time?
Yeah.
Like that. That's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
But I guess, well, congratulations on Tokyo. That's
Thank
a lot
you.
of fun.
Yeah, that's my 3rd star.
Oh, yeah, that was my other question for you, too. Now, which ones? I'm assuming you have London?
No, I did Chicago first, and then New York,
Okay.
and then Tokyo.
You did Tokyo, and then so you need Boston,
Berlin, and London.
And then London.
Yeah, not this year. I mean, doing Boston next month, but
yeah,
I should be okay.
Are you running with a charity? Did you get
I
a
get the
Falmouth Running Club bib?
Falmouth Running Club,
Nice.
yeah. So no pressure now. I don't have to PR.
Yeah.
No DQ. But thank you, Falmouth Running Club.
Yeah, yeah. I think both times that I've run Boston have been through bibs from the running club. So no shame in that. All the local running clubs around here, generally speaking, have at least like 2 or 3 numbers.
Yeah.
It's just not something that they like outwardly advertise towards like people who aren't part of the club.
That's true.
So, but like especially the clubs in Boston, they all get numbers given to them.
Ah, sweet.
So people might be kind of uppity to you about certain things for Boston.
Because I didn't pick you, but I understand that. I'm okay.
Yeah, Boston.
Judge me as all you want, but I'm still running this.
Yeah, you should, and you should enjoy every second that you can of it. Like, take it in. And people who have watched this show before know that I don't like Boston. It's mostly honestly, it's the attitude of the people who run it.
I agree with you. I hate that.
Yeah, it's very like New York and Chicago. I feel like you can be a charity runner, you can be an everyday runner, and you're still accepted into like the whole vibe that's going on there for the most part. Boston is very elitist.
Yes, I agree with you. I've been to like Facebook group and I saw a lot of people. I don't know. I mean, I still run.
Just being kind of rude.
Yeah, I mean, I run sub 4, but just don't judge me that I didn't PQ.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's just like, did you work for it? It's like, and I think also people don't understand that like any way you get into a marathon, you're still working for it.
Agreed.
Especially Boston, like even with a running club bib, like you have to earn that. You have to be volunteering with the club. Yeah,
I did a lot.
You have to. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you didn't just get handed the bib.
Yeah.
You put in the work, and that's part of the whole process of getting the bib.
I mean, no, I did the job. The first things most, I volunteered because I enjoy doing it.
Yeah, yeah, but it is still like it's still your time that you're giving.
Yeah.
I mean, even with like charity runners who raise money for charity, you're still like it's a lot of work to charity fundraise. Like I'm fundraising for my 2nd time ever for Berlin.
Yeah.
And like
it's hard.
It's hard. It's really hard. Like I remember the first time I fundraised and I ran New York. I just was like, I don't even know if I want to like fundraise because this is harder than trying to beat my PR. Like
True. It's more stress, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, there's just the environment in Boston, just people-wise, is kind of elitist. Not my favorite.
I mean, I think I'm used to that since I moved to the Massachusetts because elite Mass can be elitist somehow. But sorry, Mass.
No, I get it. Like I always say too that the Boston Marathon is the essence of Massachusetts. It's kind of like elitist. It thinks it's better than everyone, and it thinks that you have to work for everything that you get. Which it's just like, do we really need to be hard asses all the time? No, we can take a break.
Yes.
But yeah, so that'll be fun. That'll be exciting.
I'm excited. Thank you. Thank you, Falmouth Running Club.
Yeah. Well, thank you for volunteering with the club, too.
Oh, yeah. I'm volunteering more this year.
Awesome. I mean, our races, and you know this, too, our races are nothing without our volunteers.
True. Agreed.
So if no one volunteers, then we don't have the races. And especially, like, as someone who gets a lot of the feedback for the Cape Cod Marathon, our volunteers get all the kudos at the end of the day. Like, people come back for the race, but they really love the volunteers.
Awesome.
We have fabulous volunteers. So, but volunteer with Cape Cod Marathon, friends. Do it. But yeah, so you'll be doing that. Maybe at some point you'll run London and Berlin.
Yeah.
And
I'm planning to run DC by the end of the year. So I'm trying to get into Marine Corps.
Oh, I'd like to run Marine Corps.
But it's their 50th anniversary, so
this year?
Yeah, so it might be tricky to sign up.
What's the date of that race? Like, is that a fall race?
I think it's after Cape Cod Marathon. Or 2 weeks after.
I could be tempted to run that.
So just to add, 51st.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah, so you have all the 50 states plus the District of Columbia.
Correct. Yeah.
Is that technically a territory? Is that a... U.S. territory?
No,
or
I don't think so.
What is it qualified as? I can't remember.
No.
It's not a state, obviously.
It's not a state, but territories, there are only 6 territories.
Yeah, you have.
DC is not part of them. So
What is it? Is it I guess maybe going off of its name. Is it a district? Is that what it would be? Maybe.
Maybe.
It's called the District of Columbia, so I don't know.
I don't know. I have no answer. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll have to go look up that later too, because like I'm thinking to myself, I was like, oh, I could be convinced to run that because I would really like to run Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And Berlin is before Cape Cod, so I'll be kind of trained.
True. That's true. I'm doing the Cape Cod half, so.
Oh, that'll be great.
And I think I'm doing they're doing the new challenge thing?
Yeah, you do the lobster challenge?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're going to do the 5K on Sunday and the half on Saturday?
Yeah, because I did the chowder challenge already before when I did my Massachusetts race.
Nice.
So I was like, maybe I should do something easier this time.
Yeah. Well, you get a special lobster keychain and stuff, which I'm sure you probably have enough like swag and stuff.
Oh, I know. I do have plenty of medals.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy.
Do you have a favorite medal you've run? Because obviously you've run like 70 marathons, more than that when it comes to like races.
That's hard to say. They're all beautiful. Oh no, there's a bunch of I hate.
If you want to, you can call out some of the races that have really crap medals. I mean, Jack,
no, sorry.
Jack knows that I hate the 2023 shirt marathon medal that we did for the Cape Cod Marathon, where he just like printed the shirt on a piece of metal. It was bad.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It was, that was rough.
Yeah.
I like to make fun of Jack about that.
I don't know. There's a bunch. So the Mercedes-Benz Marathon in Alabama, it's the logo of the Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, okay.
Cool, and it goes in the dark.
Oh, okay. And it's like just as big as like a Mercedes-Benz logo?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah. And what else? I don't know. I mean, I do have the Little Rock Marathon?
Yeah.
They have these gigantic medals.
Oh.
Like this big.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how they advertise their race. They have this
with the really big medals?
Yeah, like size like this.
Oh my gosh. Is that just for the full marathon? And like the half marathon's like slightly smaller maybe?
The half marathon is slightly smaller also.
But still pretty chunky.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's always so interesting to me to like learn what these other like races do to kind of like make themselves known and market themselves. Yeah. I mean, clearly the Cape Cod Marathon, we have apple cider donuts and chowder. So
chowder, I do love the chowder.
Yeah, which is kind of like a signature thing, and obviously the views. But yeah, I think what I'd really like to know is just like standout races that you've run among the 50. And more than, if you want to, maybe let's talk about this thing that's sitting in front of you first.
Oh yeah.
So people can.
So this is my, what do you call this? My.
Your scrapbook? Maybe?
Scrapbook, yes, correct. I record all the race, the picture of me on the race, the medal, my bib, and then the place I went to, like side trips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to hold that up so people on the camera can see maybe what the inside looks like a little bit?
So like, sorry, making sound. So this is pretty much. Fine. So this is Wyoming and this is Alaska. So I have my bib. I have the track that I did.
Yep.
I print that from Garmin. And I have the medal, and it pictured me running, and the picture of me with the medal. And then on the back of each state, there is a photo of what I did. Like for Alaska, I went to go, what do you call this? Ice climbing.
Ice climbing, And you met some reindeer?
Yeah, I met some reindeer on the on North Pole. So like there's a town in Alaska that's called North Pole, and they have this park where you can do the reindeer. And then I went all the way to the north.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at you. You're just like a pro adventurer at this point.
So that's kind of the idea of this having.
Yeah.
Give me like an idea, memories for me. Some of the state, I actually never, sorry.
Are you good?
Some of the state, there's not much to see, so no offense to other smaller states.
Yeah, some of the smaller states don't really have too much going on.
Yeah. Going back to your questions. One of my favorite races, actually, I did enjoy Chicago.
Okay, like the Chicago Marathon, correct? Okay. I didn't know if you meant like the state, like the one you did in the state somewhere else.
I didn't do anything in the state, actually. I just eat the, deep dish pizza. But the reason why I love Chicago, it's my first sub 4.
Okay.
It took me a while to do that, but
that's a good memory to have, though.
Yeah.
Chicago's a great marathon too. Like it's it's a marathon where it's easy to get to the start and the finish line because it's a deep course, and it's not hard to get to that park.
Yeah.
Because the L train is pretty reliable.
And then, I did PR by 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was kind of awesome.
That's fantastic. That's exciting. Yeah.
And then, the other state that was surprised was Kansas City Marathon in Missouri. Because it's my first time going to Midwest.
Oh, okay.
I thought there's nothing in the Midwest. When I came, I was like, oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah, there's some nice stuff out here.
There's like hundreds of fountains in here. They're pretty.
Fountains? I've never been there, so I wouldn't know about the fountain count, but I'll take your word for it,
No, it's very beautiful. It's a hilly course. I remember doing Kansas City because I did the I-35 challenge. So I-35 challenge is like you're doing 2 states in 2 days.
Oh,
so
okay.
I did Kansas City. I'm doing a work trip also on this trip.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of assuming that most of these trips you're going on work trips at the same time.
Yeah. So like I went to Kansas City. I finished the marathon and I drove 3 hours to Des Moines, Iowa.
And you did the marathon up there too.
The next day.
Oh my gosh.
So that was my first back-to-back. Sorry. Back-to-back, some people say back-to-back is like 1 week apart or 1 month apart, but the real back-to-back is like days apart.
Days apart, yeah. Well, I mean, that's exactly why you were able to do the Chowder Challenge, too.
That's true.
It's kind of, it's like it pretty much is an ultra at that point.
Sure.
Like, you've definitely, in my book,
I can do an ultra.
Yeah, you've done our ultras already. Like, the fact that you're doing that many miles, like, back-to-back days, that's already an ultra right there, so.
True.
Well, you have to think, most people, like, they don't even go running the day afterward they finish a marathon. So being able to do, like, pick yourself back up and go do another full marathon, like, a day or 2 days later, like, that's pretty hardcore right there.
But yes.
Yeah, I would say just, like, badass, you know?
It's painful, but I did train. So when I did my training for my first back-to-back, I actually trained I do, like, twice 10 miles Saturday, Sunday, twice 15 miles Saturday, Sunday, those kind of things. So I just want to make sure that I'm ready for both.
Yeah,
for both days.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I did the Chowder Challenge training, I kind of did like a similar thing where I would do like, I think I maxed out at like 15 and then 24, like leading into the training, which kind of like works out to the same amount of mileage between it, just like a little bit more on the Saturday, a little bit less on the Sunday when you're in the training runs. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it definitely is. It's challenging, but you can definitely do it if you have your right mindset, you know?
Correct, yes. And Advil. Just kidding.
Yeah. And some really heavy painkillers. And maybe some hallucinogenics. You never know, especially if you're like going out into the mountains. You could find some stuff, I'm sure. I'm not encouraging you to do drugs, friends.
No.
You're an adult, hopefully.
Chocolate milk helps a lot also. Doing back-to-backs.
It's definitely like that perfect sweet spot of like carbohydrates and protein.
Yes.
Which is definitely, it's nice, it's because it's easy to get too. You can usually walk into any supermarket, even like any like convenience store.
Yeah, I chug a bottle.
And find a bottle of chocolate milk there.
Yeah. And it works a lot. It helps a lot.
Yeah.
It's not good though if you run after drinking it. It's bad.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. I would do it after you're done, just because I can't imagine having dairy and then going to run.
Yeah.
That would not be pretty.
No, it's not.
That would not be pretty. But yeah, so any other races? I mean, obviously all these races have memories, but any like stories that are kind of standing out to you that you want to tell about some of the races that you've run?
Standing out. Mm-hmm. So another one of my favorite was the one in Minnesota.
Okay. Did you do Twin Cities?
No, the one up north, the Duluth one.
Oh, Duluth. Yes, you did.
I forget.
Did you do Grandma's?
Yeah, I did Grandma's.
Grandma's, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to do Grandma's at some point. I haven't gotten that far yet.
I mean, I started late because the line for the restroom was too long.
I think anyone who's run more than like 3 or 4 races / marathons has had that happen to them at least once, where they're like, I was in the porta potty line, so my start time is like, and then you have people who are probably watching you on like the app or whatever it is, and they're like, why didn't Juliana start? You're getting text messages, are you okay? It's like, and then you're trying to like get into the porta potty and get to the starting line, and your phone's blowing up. You're like, leave me alone. I'll talk to you later when I'm done.
It's a fun race, downhill. It's a fast race also. I didn't expect that. I had a good time on that race. I think I did 1:43, I think.
Wow.
No, not 143, 343.
I said wow, and then I really heard what you said, and then I was like,
That's
I was
too
like,
fast.
I was like, Elliot Kipchoge can't even run that fast. That's a little bit wild for me.
And then I think my 50th state really stand out as well because I did I did
the Disney World Marathon.
No, I did the challenge.
Oh, you did the dopey.
Yeah. Oh. So I did the 5, 10, half and full in 4 days.
Yeah. How was the Disney Marathon experience? Because I haven't run any of the Disney marathons.
Yeah.
I don't really have an inclination to do so, and I'll tell you why. Because I've run a lot of the virtual. People have done GoPro videos of themselves running it, and it seems to me to be a lot of service roads, and not really any crowds. And there's not really anything to it's not I'm fine not having crowds and having beautiful views, what's in your scrapbook and stuff. That's fine. But having a gross view on a flat, not exciting course, where there's no crowds either, I'm kind of just that plus the price point doesn't make me super inclined to do it. No. But I do have friends who do it every year who love it. So I see both sides of the coin. But where did we fall?
I think it's beautiful. I mean, I know what you mean. That there's some parts that it's going to go on the service road, but then the full marathon actually goes to all 5 parks.
Oh, okay.
So you actually have.
I also know they changed that course a lot. That's a course that
I didn't
not
know.
The same 2 years in a row.
I just talked to a couple of people in the race. I said, oh, they changed the course again.
Yeah,
That's very much.
My friend who runs it every year pretty much told me that without fail, they change at least part of the course every single year. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
I think the fun part about doing Disney is stopping by to take photos with the characters.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot in the course that they have music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
DJs and stuff?
No, music of classic Disney songs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then
that's fun.
And also they have TVs to show films classic
Disney movies.
Yeah.
Ah.
So one of my favorite part of the race, I was in mile 22, 23, and then they started playing the sound Hakuna Matata. And it's mile 23, you're all in pain.
Yeah,
you're let's do this. Let's sing the song.
Ooh, Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah,
love it. That's a lot of fun.
So it's a good motivation. So being running, be like Timon and Pumbaa, and then
I love that. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so that's why it stuck too much for me because it was a fun race, and I do love Disney.
Well, the big question is, did you dress up?
No. So my friend came run with me. We decided to run in a Hawaiian shirt.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that's considered dress up, right?
That's kind of a little bit of an outfit. Cause are they one of your friends who's from Hawaii as well?
Yeah, we both run from the same running club in Hawaii.
Oh, okay, perfect. That makes sense. That's a theme. I like it. I think that's good. I just know that the dressing up is a big deal at the Disney marathons. Yes. All the races that they do, all the Run Disney events, there's a lot of people who dress up.
It's crazy. I don't know how they run in those clothes. It's just too heavy.
That's what I think too. I'm like, isn't this heavy? And also aren't you chafing like crazy?
I know.
That's my thing too. If I run, so when I run London I guess is known for its costumes too.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I'm definitely gonna dress up in a costume, but I'm thinking to myself, what is the most ergonomically non-chafing Harry Potter person that I can be? Am I just gonna give myself am I gonna just get color coordinated running clothing so it kind of looks like a Hogwarts robe or something? Or get a little cape maybe? Yeah. But I just can't even imagine because I'm sure there's someone out there who's run it as Hagrid or something or those people. I always just think of the guy who ran London as as Big Ben. Yeah,
I know, I saw that. That's crazy.
That's one of my favorite clips of all time. Out of those things that live rent free in my head, that guy slamming into the barrier at the end of the marathon.
I saw that. It's very funny.
That and the people who are it's the perfect texture for running, and then they're
I know.
They live in my head rent free. But yeah, I'm so glad that was a positive experience, and you get to do it with plenty of friends too.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
So he promised to celebrate with me, so that was kind of fun.
Yeah, and he did all the other stuff with you afterwards too, like the manatees and Universal.
No, we do it before the race.
Oh, you did it before the race. Oh,
it's kind of funny because I have to wake up 3 a.m. for all the races.
Yeah, it's very early.
Yeah, because they start at 5 a.m. So it's kind of crazy because like you have to go and start, you have to fight with the parking because like there's thousands of people every day.
Did you guys stay on property at Disney?
No, but I'm not. I stayed like 10 to 15 minutes away.
Oh, that's
it's
not terrible then. Yeah. Just because I know the Disney parks, even the cheaper ones, are pretty expensive.
No, no way I'm gonna pay that much for hotels.
That's one of my other biggest deterrents too with the Disney races. Is you're like the whole experience is just it's a big price tag.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like prohibitive to certain people, like especially if you can like. If you want to run a marathon and you're just like kind of nervous about the marathon experience overall, there's probably one that's closer to you that you can maybe even within like your general area or town or whatever.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot more just approachable price-wise.
True.
Doesn't have to deal with all the Disney hotels, but I mean Disney is really fun. I also am a really big Disney fan, so which I need to go back at some point soon.
I don't know. I forgot to say about Hawaii, but Hawaii. I mean. It's the first time I've done, but I think in all of the Hawaii, the one thing that I remember very nicely is the Maui oceanfront.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my friend my runner buddy from Michigan came. He did his state marathon there. And so while we were running along the coast, there were like whales jumping.
Oh, that's fun.
I was like, oh, there's a whale.
Whales. Oh, that's
it's kind of fun. Yeah. I mean,
is that common in Hawaii to see whales jumping above the?
I mean, yeah. On the season.
Okay.
Yeah, like
that makes sense.
Like I think it's from. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's from October to February.
Because I'm clearly the whale expert here.
Oh.
I know nothing about whales, so I'll take your word for it.
I forgot the name of the whale, but it's one of the big ones.
Humpback whale, or maybe like a blue whale, or the sperm whale, or the...
I forgot. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah. I know nothing about whales, just what you learned in like third grade when they taught you about whales or whatever. So my knowledge of whales is quite rusty.
But it's one of those whales that migrated from Alaska and they go in the winter in Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
I forget the name though. I mean, I had some photos with them before, so.
That's really cool though. Yeah, there are definitely those moments I feel that live rent-free in your head from your races or just like your training runs and things like that. So that's super exciting. Are there any other like moments that are sticking out in your head from maybe some of the races that you've run where you're like, wow, that's something that just like I think about all the time?
So there's when I did my second time around in California, that's the one I bought the shoes.
Oh, yeah.
So I was running Oakland Running Fest. It's a double loop course.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So the funny thing, people were telling me along the course, like, they keep telling me, are you okay? Are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm okay.
Did you look like you were suffering? Or like?
I wasn't suffering, but then when I went to the finish line, I saw a blood gushing on here.
Oh, no.
So it's like my whole back was blood. I didn't realize until
was it chafing? Is that what it was?
I think it's chafing. So a lot of people thought that I was stabbed during the race.
Oh, gosh.
Because there was so much blood on my shirt.
You have pictures of that?
I do have photos.
Okay, you have to send me those. I'll insert those right here, friends. You can look at some pictures of that blood running down.
It was so funny because I was just...
You're just oblivious to it.
There's like people asking me like multiple times.
And you're probably so confused the whole time. You're like, I'm okay. Like, what do you want? Like, leave me alone. And then you finish and you're like, yes, I see where the concern was coming from. And this makes sense to me now too.
Yeah. So when I went to the hotel, I was like, oh crap, that's a lot.
Yeah, you're like, it's fine. Yeah, luckily our bodies are pretty adaptive and like that, I'm sure like it looks like more blood than it actually is when things like that happen.
It's not. It's really a small wound, so it's just so much blood gushing out.
Yeah, it's just that like bright red color too. It just makes it look so much more alarming.
True.
Than it probably actually is.
It is.
Yeah. But that's definitely a funny story right there. Do you have anything else that's sticking out in your head from any of your marathons that you've run?
No. Sorry. I mean,
that's okay. You don't have to.
Michigan was a fun race, which I did last year.
Okay.
That's my 49th state because
that was Duluth, correct?
No, Michigan. Detroit.
Oh, the Detroit, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Duluth isn't in Michigan.
That's in Minnesota.
I clearly know my state geography really well, like super well.
So Detroit, my friend lives there, so he hosted me with his wife.
Oh, that's nice.
So the race was, we're running to Canada and back.
Oh yeah, that's the one that goes over the border. You have to bring your passport ahead of time.
Yeah. So they have to check my passport. They have to verify that I'm okay. I'm an okay person. So we have to run on the Ambassador Bridge, and then run like 3 miles in Canada, and then we
come back.
run under the tunnel. So that's why I have they have this jacket that says underwater mile.
Oh yes, I remember seeing that. Yeah. That's a lot of fun. Yeah. That's a really cool thing to be able to say like that you did.
Yeah.
Like, not that running a marathon isn't like cool already. Like, everyone already knows that I think marathon.
But under the tunnel
cool.
was so scary though.
Yeah, are you just like a generally speaking like claustrophobic kind of person?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see where that would be nerve-wracking if you're not someone who likes being in smaller spaces.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And just knowing that like there's earth and probably water and stuff above you, and you're like, oh no.
It's like, oh, I want to get out of here. That's why I'm gonna run fast.
Yeah, probably one of your fastest miles. You're like, nope, we are leaving. Adios. Like, I will do a pickup mile here so I can get out of the tunnel. Now, for the 50 states, how many years did it take you to finish all 50 states?
So I started December 2016.
Okay, and you just finished like
January
about
2025.
Okay.
So I would say 9 months and 1 year. 9
years and
1 month.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty good amount of time to commit to something.
Correct.
Like that. I feel like most people who run like the World Marathon Majors kind of commit like a similar time frame, unless you're really lucky and you just end up getting in all the lotteries all at once.
Yeah, no.
You know? But it's a big undertaking to even consider doing 50 marathons in 50 states.
Yes.
But
once you're halfway there, so I remember my halfway was in Connecticut, in Hartford. So I was like, oh crap, there's no turning back. I'm already halfway.
I feel like that's kind of how you feel when you're running a marathon too. You get over the 13.1 mile and you're like, well, closer to the finish line than I am the starting line, so I guess we'll just keep going then.
Yeah.
You know, we're out here doing our thing.
So after Hartford, Connecticut, I was like, oh, it was a task for me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just gonna finish. I'm gonna finish. So I lost track the part where I haven't need to enjoy the race.
Oh yeah, you kind of gotten into more like analytical, like I will get this done kind of mode.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, say someone wants to do this challenge. Where would you recommend they start? Like, where do you feel like is a good starting point for?
I mean, I would say try one, and then if you really enjoy doing one, I mean, it's good excuse to see the 50 states.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to 30 national parks, so doing
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, out of the 63, so.
Wow. I'm assuming the rest of the national parks are on your to-do list at some point?
Yeah, but some of them are really hard to access, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which ones are hard to access? Is it like?
The Isle of Man in Michigan, so you have to take a boat to get there. Also, the one in Florida, I forget the name. Like
there's another one in Florida. It's like an island or something?
It's also an island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a bunch in Alaska, but I think I crossed them out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's still a couple that I had to do there, but a bunch I haven't done is in the West Coast, like in Washington State, which I'm gonna plan to do next year.
Yeah.
Because there's one race that lands on my birthday next year that I want to do there.
Oh, okay. Is it a marathon? Is it like a
marathon, of course.
Okay. I didn't know. You never know. You never know. But yeah, let's just it sounds like to me if someone is interested in this, one, you should probably like to travel.
Yeah.
Like enjoying traveling is kind of a baseline for this. And having just a curiosity to explore other states you haven't been to before seems like kind of how you're going to get the maximum enjoyment out of a lot of these things.
I mean, it's going to hurt pocket-wise and legs.
Yeah.
Learning from different cultures, different states, different people was kind of, I mean, I'm an Asian guy going to like everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's kind of refreshing to see, perspective of people when you go to another state.
Yeah, I think it's interesting kind of looking at the United States versus a lot of other countries because our whole country is it's bigger than Europe.
Correct.
And I have friends who live in Europe too, and I'm sure you do as well.
Yeah.
Where they're like, oh, I'm just going, like they live in like Germany, and they're like, I'm just going to France this weekend. And it's like a 2-hour drive from where they are in Germany. And I'm just like, And then they're talking to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have to drive across Massachusetts, and that's like 3 hours. And they're like, how is that further away than another country is? That makes no sense to me. But a lot of the European countries are the same size as some of even the smaller states that are here. So
I mean, we can go to Connecticut in an hour or Rhode Island.
Yeah. I mean, I have a friend who lives in Finland who went to one of the other, I think she went to Sweden. It was like an hour boat ride to Sweden.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, that's the same. It takes less time to go to Sweden than it does to go to Boston, you know? But yeah, it sounds like being adventurous is
part of the deal.
Yeah, part of the prerequisites for doing this. Because if you don't want to do any of the other stuff, I mean, you can go run the race, I'm sure, and just run the race and go home.
Yeah.
But like, what's the fun in that?
I agree. I mean, also tasting the food.
Yeah, and just like experience, like you said, experiencing the culture that is like all the different states.
I mean, it's not different country. I mean, they're all Americans, but it's different in every way.
Yeah, people from Massachusetts are not the same people that are in like Texas and the same people who are in Wyoming and then Hawaii. Like those are completely different human beings.
Yeah.
We might all like loosely speak some format of English, but like for the most part.
Yeah.
But it's just, we're all very different humans.
Yeah.
Did you come across any like challenges when you were trying to complete this?
What kind of challenges?
I don't know. It could be interpersonal challenges, like maybe some kind of like navigating some of the cultures some things you didn't anticipate happening. It could be like challenges around traveling itself, you know, like logistics. It could be maybe challenges that you had with your running, potentially, like getting on a plane and then having to run like less than 24 hours later.
Oh, yeah, no. The hard challenge I've done is like driving. If I'm doing a back-to-back race, I think I've done 4 of them. Yeah. The challenge was driving to the next state.
Did you have to get in your car like right after you were done running the first marathon?
After chugging the chocolate milk, I have to drive.
Yeah, so it was like finish the race like 1 to 2 hours later, like get in your car.
Yeah, because I have to get to the
bib pickup.
Bib pickup at the same time. I just want to make sure I have my bib before the race. Yeah, that's one of the challenges. One of the worst experience when I did my first back-to-back. When I did the I-35. Actually fell asleep driving, which is bad.
Oh no, don't do that.
It's a learning experience for me. So it's kind of scary. But it's good thing it's a highway, but there's not much allowed cars like, when you go to Boston and stuff.
Yeah, it's not like if you accidentally doze off for like 3 seconds, you're gonna hit a car. The next car is probably like way far in front of you.
Yeah, so it's kind of, just don't do that. Just make sure that you're awake, take coffee.
Yeah, have some kind of caffeine, get some sugar in your system.
Yeah, so those are the challenges. And also like when I did my back-to-back, when I did Louisville and Ohio together. The challenge was like I was super in pain when I did Kentucky. Oh. And I was like...
Did you have like an injury going into it?
No, it's not an injury. It's just my legs are all sore.
I mean, I feel like that's fair.
I was like, I told myself like, if I don't wake up tomorrow morning, it's okay. If I don't do Ohio, I'll just do it next year. Yeah. I was like, but then I wake up.
And you're like, I'm gonna do it anyway.
And then I took an Advil, and then I ran faster than my first day. Which is also funny because Ohio, like the Flying Pig Marathon, is a Healy course.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, now remember, it's also one of my favorite races.
Oh, okay. So, it's funny how things work out like that sometimes. Just like you're thinking like, oh, this is gonna be terrible. And then you have like a great day, and then you're like, oh, today's gonna be a great day. My training cycle was great, everything. And then you just like something weird happens or whatever. I remember when I ran Chicago, like I had a really great training block going into Chicago. And like I showed up, I was like, today's gonna be a great day. The weather is good. Like I had a nice time hanging out with my friends the last couple of days who live in Chicago. Yeah. And then at mile 19, I started drinking my fluids that I have in my water bottle that I carry with me. Yeah. And what had happened, those little silica packets that like dry out things from the inside that they put in things to make sure they don't grow mold. There was one in the bottom of my water bottle. I didn't realize it. Oh. So I drank it and I actively dehydrated myself. And, and I ended up being like peg legging it through the end because I couldn't bend my knees anymore because I was just like. That hurts. But it wasn't a bad race overall, but like it just took an unexpected turn that no one could have ever predicted, Yeah. And sometimes things like that happen. Yeah. Like unexpected experiences. Is there anything that sticks out into your head that was kind of like an unexpected experience throughout this entire thing, or maybe just like an unexpected conclusion that you came to at the end of this? Thoughts, feelings?
No.
That surprised you?
I was like, most of the question next for me is like after 50 states, a lot of people asking what's next. That's pretty much.
Well, I think you've already answered that here. You want to do the national parks. You have some other races on your bucket list. You're going to do the 6 stars.
Yeah, the 6 stars. I think my next goal was just to, I want to do the 50 state sub 4.
Okay. So you want to train a little bit, like just a little more speed work and then try and...
I mean, I already did 24 out of the 50 states, 3 stars sub 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not that bad. I started really bad on my first few years because, I'm just...
Yeah, you're just starting out. You don't really know.
Yeah, I didn't really know. And I'm not... I mean, my genetics is not a fast runner.
Yeah, same. I'm not. No part of me is like built to be a speed runner or like a 2-hour marathoner. Absolutely not. Yeah. Absolutely not. If I can finish, so that's good. That's all I'm really looking for.
I think the thing I have in my mind was like, there's also a club that calls the 100 Marathon Club.
Oh, okay. Is it kind of like the 50 States Marathon Club?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll probably do something like 100 marathon at 50 years old, and I have 12 years to go, so which is good.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like you have to run 100 marathons in 1 year.
I mean,
it's not impossible, but it seems slightly aggressive.
No, like in the next, I have 30 left to get to the 100. So.
Yeah, given the speed that you're kind of working through these things, I think that you can do it.
No,
I believe in you.
I'm gonna try slow down a little bit. I'm not doing 16 marathons again in a year, so.
You did 16 in 1 year?
Yeah, I did it twice.
Twice?
Yeah, I did 16 in 2018, and I did
Jesus,
16
Mary and Joseph.
In 2023.
Yeah, and people say I'm crazy for running like 2 marathons a year, pretty spread out. I do one in the spring and one in the fall.
Yeah, that's the plan now.
Come back to me later because I've just started to bite the bug of ultra marathon running, and that's kind of like snowballed really quickly.
Yeah.
So, which you're definitely doing a format of for sure. Like it's not like the traditional ultra marathon. No. I'll say where it's like you do like 100 miles in a day or whatever, consecutively. Or whatever you want to do.
My training cycle was bad.
For this one?
For all the one I did.
Ones.
The one I did with 16 marathons.
Yeah.
I didn't do the default 15 miles a week.
Yeah.
I didn't do that, but.
You're definitely getting enough mileage for sure.
But the good thing about that is like I treat my previous marathon as a training marathon.
Yeah.
Training for the next one, but then. The bad thing about that is that most of this marathon, it's not that I'm doing one every month.
Yeah.
I'm actually doing
like 2
multiples in 1 month. Like I did 4 in 1 month. I did 3 in 1 week.
That's very I think what I'm thinking right now is that that's not only physically taxing, but mentally taxing.
Oh, it was.
I'm thinking, because yesterday I was out running, I did 21 miles, and I got to the end, and I was just like, physically, I could have gone further because I always just like to ask myself, whatever my goal distance pace is, if I stop now, do I feel like I could keep going? And the answer was yes. I could keep going. The answer to do I want to keep going was no. And so I was like, I could either get greedy and keep going, or I could just listen to what my brain was telling me and say this is what we planned for the day, Juliana. But I got to the 21 and I was like, I'm done.
Which one are you training for?
So I'm running, I have 26 Point True, which is in Boston. It's the non-official Boston Marathon. It's a Boston Marathon that goes within Boston. It's put on by the Pioneers running group. It's a fabulous running group.
Okay.
And then I'm running the Wataupa 50K in May. So.
That's so soon, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it kind of is. I'm mostly ready. I did the 21 miles I did yesterday were mostly on trails too. So.
That's awesome.
Pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I hate trails though.
I only started running trails about 6 months ago, and it took me a month and a half to kind of break into it. And now I kind of it's a nice break from having to go against cars.
That's true. Yeah.
It's just, sometimes it's just nice to just be somewhere that's a little bit less people and car heavy. I found But I'm definitely more of a road runner than I am a trail runner, for sure, 100%.
I would say the same thing for me.
Yeah.
I did a couple of trail runs.
Yeah.
They're just too much thinking for me.
That's the thing too. It's a lot of. I feel like for me, like solo running, trail running is kind of a little bit better. But when I'm road running, I love being around people.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I like to talk to people, but like what I've found is with trail running, you're thinking so much about like where you're putting your feet and everything else that's going around that I can't talk to anyone because my brain is like very occupied.
So yeah, that's the problem. Because the reason why I want to running, because I think a lot with my work.
Yeah.
And running in the road, I don't really have to think. I'm just gonna go straight forward.
And you can think about whatever is going on in your head too. Yeah. That's what I find too. I was like, I'm running trails like 1 or 2 times a week, which is good for me, but like, it doesn't give me much thinking space.
Yeah, because you have to think where do you have to step.
Yeah.
And I don't want to fall something. I don't want to break my ankle. Those kind of stuff.
So I know for some people they can go out and run trails and their brain is in the same spot when like you and I are out running on roads where it's like you can just let it wander a little bit.
Yeah.
You can kind of like, even when I was out running the other day, I had one of those moments where I forgot I was running and I was thinking about something and then I came back inside my body and I said, whoa, I'm still running. Which is just kind of like a nice thing to do once in a while because then you can just like work through your problems in your head.
That's true, yeah. Which
is great. Or talk with your running buddy. If you got one, which we'll definitely have to hook up for more runs at some point too.
Yeah.
I think that'll be good. But it's definitely, it's very mentally taxing to do trails. It's fun, but it is also like a lot of mental gymnastics and physical gymnastics.
I mean, it's beautiful to see nature.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I imagine I'm probably going to sign up for like one mountainous like ultra at some point. Just so I can see the pretty views, and then I'll probably finish it and be like, that was terrible, I'm going back to the roads. Like, I'll have parts that I'll enjoy, but then I'll be like, nope, I think the roads are for me.
Yeah, I did a couple of half marathons in Hawaii, like trail runnings.
Yeah.
I mean, I still do it, but it's still crazy.
It's not your preferred venue for running, which is fair. I mean, there are plenty of people who really love the treadmill. There are plenty of people who really love running on a track. People really love the roads. Some people really love the trails.
Yeah.
Wherever you feel like find your like happy place with running, I feel like that's where you should enjoy your running.
Yeah, I agree.
Because there are no rules.
There's no rules.
You can run. I'm sure there's someone out there who only exclusively runs on sand, or someone who lives near near the beach near us, but maybe like longer, more runnable stretches of beach, and like they really love running on sand. And I'm like, you know what? More power to you, my friends. That's not my calling. I almost ate shit yesterday when I was doing my trail run and I ran around an area that had a lot of sand. So, but I mean, not the worst texture to fall on. But
I know. I've done a couple training runs on the sand. It's crazy.
It's hard to run on sand.
Yeah.
You have no traction at all.
No, just keep going down.
It's like,
it's good exercise though. Good.
It works a lot of muscles.
Works a lot of muscles, but it's also good for your knee.
Yeah. Well, because it softens the impact.
Yeah.
Which I have noticed with like the trail running too. I definitely have like stronger lateral like side muscles as opposed to just like this kind of straightforward motion when you're running on the roads a little bit more.
True.
But it's kind of like pick your poison, you know? Kind of like pick your poison.
Well, I mean, the good thing about me right now is just I'm also going to the gym on group classes. Even though I hate going to the gym.
Yeah.
As I told you earlier, I sweat a lot. But then I do love group classes because there's less judgment about there.
Yeah.
So the good thing about going to the gym is I actually have to build my other muscle groups.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same. Do you go to one of the gyms around here?
I go to Upper Cape CrossFit.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow, CrossFit. That's fancy. Big old badass over here.
I know. I'm trying to make sure that I'm not gonna injure myself. That's why even though I'm doing a lot of stuff in there, I'm so happy with how much I've improved for the past few years.
Yeah.
But I try not to, overdo stuff because I don't want to get injured because I still love my running.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a good back and forth too because like even like with my ultramarathon training right now, like I've made sure I go to the gym like twice a week, do some heavier lifting. Like every night at home I have a little PT routine that I do and some stretching.
Oh, I need that.
Yeah, I mean I've had a hip injury recently, so like I have very specific like stuff with that too where like I know like it's been proven to me via my body that if I don't keep up with it, the hip pain's going to come right back. So I'm like, okay, we got to do that, Juliana.
I have to go back into that. I know I have some pains right now.
Yeah.
But I know what the cause is, and I know which muscle group I need to fix.
Yeah.
But I'm really bad on stretching and, massaging my legs. I need to do that more often.
Runners, we're terrible about that. We're so bad. Like, it is like comically funny.
Yeah.
Like how terrible we are about stretching.
I know, I'm so bad.
I feel like the only people who actually do like their stretches are like the pro runners.
Yes.
Who are like forced to by the coaches that they're working with.
And also they have massage therapists.
Yeah. Oh my God. I would murder to have someone at my house waiting for me with like, just set me up with the Normatec boots and then put me like massage my back for me. Oh my God.
I wish I had the same thing.
If someone wants to know the way to my heart, that's it. Just like be there waiting for me after a long run. Be like, I'll massage your calves for you, Julianne. I'd be like, yes. yes. Oh my goodness. With all your running, have you found that there are any kind of recovery strategies? I know you talked about the chocolate milk is a big one for you. Mm-hmm. Anything else that you found that has kind of carried you through all of this, or has it just more or less been like a learning process, kind of like?
It's still a learning process. Mm-hmm. I mean, the recovery process after a marathon is just keep moving.
Yeah.
That's why I always go with something like, oh yeah, I just did a marathon yesterday and I'm going for a recovery hike.
Yeah.
And my recovery hike usually goes to 7 miles and it's up in the mountain.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a big fan of like moving the day, especially after the day after. Maybe, I mean, even my last full marathon I did the Clarence DeMar Marathon up in New Hampshire.
Oh yeah.
Which was fabulously run.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
I did that one.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. that area where you come out on the what the heck is it? Between those two mountains, where you come out and on that bridge.
It's at the dam.
Yeah, the dam.
That's the beautiful one.
Oh my God, I had to like stop and look around. I was like, oh my goodness, wow. But I came home to the Airbnb I was staying at. I took a nap and then I went for like a 4-mile walk around town afterwards. But like my body feels so much better when you get the junk out of your legs and you don't just like let it sit there.
Yeah.
Like even this morning, like I got up and I did another 8 miles this morning. It's
I haven't done anything. I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize for anything. I also fully understand. Like you and I are living on like a similar but slightly different like level of insanity. So it's more than fair.
I need to do better though, because
you're fine.
Yeah.
You just ran Tokyo. You good? That's fine. But yeah, it's just I'm so like motion is lotion. Movement is you don't move it, you lose it.
Yeah, correct.
And I've just found with my body too, like the more I kind of keep it in motion, the better it is. Like, I mean, even with this like higher mileage training, like I feel way better now than I do when I'm running lower mileage because my body is just moving.
Correct, yes.
And like, you have to be kind of aware of everything that's going on around you. Like hopefully like your shoeing, your gear choices, like the weather, dressing properly, given whatever you're like, if you're going to sweat a lot, wearing something that's going to breathe well and carrying enough liquids.
I usually have my headband for the sweat on it because it distracts me when salt comes into my eyes.
Oh yeah, that's painful.
That's painful.
Yeah. I think we've all had that before. Where
I try to avoid put sunblock on my face also because that's really bad as well.
Yeah, you don't want to get skin cancer. We don't need that.
Well, I'll probably get skin cancer because I didn't put sunblock.
I mean, you're kind of preaching to the choir. I say we should wear sunscreen, and then I never wear sunscreen. It blocks up my pores in a way that it really screws up my sweating.
Yeah.
And then I just end up overheating because I have my sweat glands clogged with sunscreen.
Yeah.
And like it's like 90 degrees out during the summer, which for me is fine. I like running in the heat.
Yeah, me too.
But if all of my pores are clogged, it's not okay because then I can't sweat. And that's our body's natural like air conditioning system.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, definitely like movement and like recovering properly, like getting in that like carbohydrate protein mix.
Protein definitely. And for me also like eat slowly.
Yeah.
I usually prefer to eat soup after the race.
Okay, like you mean like eat slowly, like start up solids like gradually instead of like
because I did a 1 marathon last year that I actually got to the hospital after.
Oh no! What happened with that?
I think I got a bowel obstruction.
You're preaching to the choir right here, my friend.
Yeah.
As the person who's had a GI resection and stuff too.
Yeah.
I got like 2/3 of my colon left.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it.
But then I mean it wasn't It's just that there's something is blocking. I think
it was stuck.
Yeah, I think I was celebrating with my friend because he did his first marathon. And then I came, we ate a burger, and I usually don't do that.
Yeah.
And then after that, I just got sick.
Yeah.
And turned out bad. And then after that, I just realized that I'm not going to do something like this again.
Yeah, do like something a little more liquid, like right after.
Soup or something like that, just fill me up. But yeah, I like soup though after the race.
Yeah.
Because it's warm, salty, electrolytes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not going to get stuck either because it's just like mostly liquid with tiny little bits and pieces for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of the same way too. I mostly do liquids for the most part when I'm like running. And afterwards too, like I usually kind of like have some Gatorade and then like see how I'm feeling and then like kind of just like progress it from there, and maybe like 4 or 5, 6 hours later I'll eat something like solid, you know?
Yeah.
That's not like super liquidy.
I usually get some the ramen noodles.
Oh yeah.
And then I work with that because it's not that heavy and there's not much solid in it except for the. Sorry.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good strategy too, and I think also it's good to like let people know that. Yeah, I know a lot of times we see people going out and like celebrating after their first marathon or their second or their 50th marathon, and they're like, yeah, I'm going to go eat the biggest meal ever. Yeah. And I think I would say approximately half the population probably falls into the category where either like you really don't feel like eating after you're done running that.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, I people are like, oh, you're gonna go. I'm like, my stomach is not feeling right now. I just jostled my intestines for around 4 hours, like, and just imagine putting yourself in like a shaking machine and just like shaking yourself like.
I think that's the thing that happened to me because it was shaking.
Yeah.
And it just
Well, and when you're running too, your body actually diverts the blood flow from the organs that like don't need it while you're running, and like digestion is not a priority for your body when you're out running long distance.
Correct.
So you're putting stuff into a system that has kind of largely shut itself down for like 4, 5, 6 hours of your day.
Yeah.
And it has to kind of reboot itself back up, like get the blood flow going back into your intestines. So, and that's not going to be immediately after you're done running.
Yeah.
It for some people they're able to do that, and like more power to you if that's you. But for a lot of people, you need kind of like a gradual like lead back into like eating solid foods, even if it's just a couple of hours.
Yeah, it's also good to understand yourself also.
Yeah.
I mean, my situation is not different from other people. For me, this works for me.
Yeah, sure thing.
Yeah.
Is there any like big overarching themes or even smaller themes that you've learned about yourself through this whole experience? Like any big takeaways for like self-discoveries? Just for me, like I'll give you an example. Maybe this will prompt you to think of something potentially. Yeah. When I ran my first marathon, I essentially like taught myself patience.
Oh.
Because I used to be like a super impatient person. And like part of the process of me running my first marathon was me realizing you can only be here. Mm-hmm. Like no matter how hard I want to be in the next mile, or how much I don't want to be in this current one, I can't speed up that process. Like my legs will only move so quickly. Yeah. And no matter what, if my desire to cover that distance is more than my desire to quit, I have to just be patient, and time will pass.
Agreed. Yeah.
Like if the future and the past and whatever history has taught us anything, is that time will keep on passing.
So I think going back to what's going on. So what you said, I think for me the learning thing I learned from doing all of this stupid crazy marathons is like I do well when I actually enjoy the race. Yeah. Then most of my PR actually when
you had like a good race.
Yeah, most of my PR is when I actually enjoy the race, and when I do it like as a task, that's where I suffer more. Yeah. Yeah. So kind of just like embracing the race for what it is. Yeah. So even if you're having like not the best day, finding things that you can enjoy within. Yeah. Like what happened for me in Cincinnati, even though it's a hilly course, it's a big race, but the support was every mile. Yeah. It was so fun that I kind of forgot the pain that I'm undergoing. Yeah. So our brains are very good at blocking things out, like if we're in the right mindset. Like some of my favorite marathons that I've run, I mean, even the Cape Cod Marathon that I ran as my first marathon, I had GI issues like the whole way.
The whole way. It was not great. And then I was playing porta potty hopscotch like from mile 22 to like 24. But if you ask me what one of my favorite marathons is, it's that like I had like overall everything else around it was fantastic. And so because I was able to focus on the things that were positive as part of the experience, my brain largely remembers those things instead of like the painful things. And you can still make not the most ideal situation pretty good.
So I think my learning experience, based on what you have said earlier, is like in life, I think I have to enjoy more on what the thing I'm doing every day, rather than focus on, what other people think, or because I always worry that people would think badly if I don't do well in a race. But I think it's also in actual life, what's going on in our life right now. I think we just need to enjoy what's going on. And I think everything would just follow, and just think about something happy, and everything would be happy. And no pressure out there.
I think that's a great sentiment to have, and a great just attitude to have about things. I mean, as someone who, like I mentioned, I've had like a colon resection, like I've had a lot of like health challenges, and people like, Juliana, like, how are you so positive anymore? I was like, well, I can either wallow in my own sadness and just be miserable for the rest of my life, or I can choose to find the things that are like positive and kind and nice and enjoyable, and I can really like celebrate those.
Correct. Yeah.
So I can make the choice. Like, I'm going to have the same set of circumstances put in front of me for the most part. Because like at a certain point you can't change your health conditions. There's only so much you can do. So if I've done everything and I'm still at this point where I have these challenges, like I can either wallow in my own sadness and misery, or I can choose to just like enjoy the other things that are out there. And just really embrace it. Like, even if you're you're running a race and you're having a bad day, like there probably is someone else around you who you can talk to, or who's having a good day, or like you can appreciate the skyline that you're looking at, or you can be like, wow, the volunteers here, they are top notch. And there's just so much to be said too about like spreading positivity. Like, one of my favorite things to do when I'm running, even when I'm out here in Falmouth too, is I'll give high fives and like power ups, which are like fist bumps. And so even this morning when I was out running, I gave this woman a high five, and it just brings so much just like energy and joy into just that like one little moment that even if you can get like a little power surge from something like that.
Agree.
That's not even like, it's not a complicated thing. We can all give a high five and a fist pump. It's not any kind of revolutionary idea, but it's just the act of choosing to do something, even if you're having like a really, really, really crappy run, just trying to be like, wow, I'm glad that it's like, I can see the sun today.
Correct, yes.
Just like finding something positive to think about. It definitely helps.
I mean, whatever you learn from these things, you just actually applying it to like your daily lives, it actually help. Which I feel like is one of the most challenging things too. For right now, because I mean, I'm an overthinker guy, so I think a lot, so which is bad. I feel like there are a lot of runners who have a lot of anxiety, a lot of overthinking, some format of like ADHD and ADD who just need to like, we need to work it out of our systems. And once you let us run on the hamster wheel for long enough, we'll come back and we'll be like, aha, I'm okay now. I just needed to get that energy out of my system, work through some thoughts in my head, and just feel just like, I think that's great. But I guess my other question for you too is, if someone wants to start doing this 50 states challenge, what would your advice be to them? Like, if I came up to you, I was like, hey, I think I would like to run the 50 states. Just commit to it and everything would just follow. Because it's going to be painful, but once you're there, it's just satisfying. You have something in goal. You have a goal that you actually complete. Which is kind of fulfilling. I mean, I have a bunch of friends that I know that they're doing their third round of 50 states.
Third round? Wow.
He's actually running this. He's running his Massachusetts during the Cape Cod this year.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what state number. I think it's going to be like 35, 36, or 40. I don't know. But
did he sign up already?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope so. He told me.
Okay. I was going to say, well, if he didn't, or if he wants to let me know ahead of time, I'll do like shout outs for people while I'm announcing the finish line.
I'll let you know if he's coming, and then you'll shout out his name.
Let me know when he's going to be, like approximately what time frame he's going to be coming in, give or take, and then his name, and then I'll shout him out. because some people actually write on their entries because they give you an extra box for if you want, like, write, like, it's my birthday or something like that. People will write in. We've had a fair few number of people who have done their Massachusetts either half marathon or full marathon with Cape Cod, because we are one of the highest rated Massachusetts marathons. Thank you much. I think we're third to, because we have Boston, obviously. Yeah. Boston's like consistently rated number one. I think mostly just because of the legacy of it all, you know. Yeah. And Bay State, us and Bay State kind of go back and forth between who's like the top one in Massachusetts, give or take on the year and how people are feeling about things. Yeah. If there's a big push for BQs, usually Bay State's kind of the way to go because it is a pretty flat loop course. Yeah. Well, because of the loop, it makes like doing like course support. Like if someone wants to come out and like hand you bottles, it makes it a lot easier.
I'm actually debating if I'm going to do a marathon in every county in Massachusetts.
You could.
But I mean, only available race.
Yeah, I think you could do it.
I think I can do. I mean, I've done a couple hops already in Massachusetts.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some pretty good races up here in New England.
Yeah. I mean, I've done Duxbury half. Mm-hmm. I've done a couple of Yukon races. Okay. The Yukon company, right? Yeah. And then, I think I'm there.
I think you could do it. Yeah. I think if you did the 50 states already, I think you got the counties down. Like, you know.
I know. I mean.
That's the easier of the two things.
I mean, the easier one is just doing the half because halves are easy. Sorry. No offense.
We'll put that in perspective. Halves are much easier if you've already run full 70 marathons.
That's true.
Yeah. It's kind of like in the way that like a shakeout run for a marathon is like a 5K.
Yes.
Yeah. It's kind of, it's all perspective. It's all like percentage of distance run and stuff like that. Because anyone who's never run a marathon before, you'll quickly realize that you're running more than a half marathon every week. Yeah. I remember when I started realizing, like, I thought when I ran my first half marathon, I thought I was hot shit. I was like, wow, Juliana, you're just like absolutely killing it. Like, granted, I was the first one in my family, like extended and immediate, who had run a half marathon or anything kind of like that distance before. I was also the first one to run a full marathon. But like, I started training for a full marathon and I was like, oh, I'm running 15 miles today. And that's a shorter.
That's a short, yeah.
Yeah, that's like a shorter run on the plan that I have laid in front of me. And you just you reach that point of insanity where you look at your training schedule, you're like, oh, 15 miles, what a short run it is today. And that's when you know you're training for a marathon, when you look and you see like somewhere between like 13 and 15 miles being a short run. You're like, oh, it's only 13 miles, that's fine. Yeah. That's okay. I mean, maybe at some point we'll get to the point where I'm like, oh yeah, 20 miles, sure, 25 miles, whatever.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah, I've not reached that point yet either. Like I said, I got to 21 yesterday. I was like, we're done.
We're done.
This is the end for today. Yeah. We are good.
I look forward to the club sponsored.
Oh, the longest long run that we're gonna do.
Man of the Mud.
Yeah.
I look forward to that.
Yeah, I'll be there too. I think Kathy's gonna assign me to leading one of the groups again.
Yeah, I won't run with you because you're fast.
I'm really not that fast.
No, I mean...
My speeds have gone down, if anything, since I started trail running. Like, and I haven't done speed work for months.
Yeah, no.
So, when the summer comes around, I get better at doing it because, like, with I have a weird, like, muscle condition, and the cold makes me so much more stiff.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and like, I have to get to, like, mile, like, 3 or 4 before I have access to, like, half my muscles. Whereas, like, the summer, I step outside and I'm like, we're good. It's nice and warm.
That's like training in the summer. Because even if you're slow, it just did the work.
Yeah, I'm someone who, like, likes to sweat.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I get to the point during the winter where I have so much, like, weird fluid built up in my body just because, like, my body's over the summer. Like, I just sweat all the crap out of my body every single morning when I go running. And now I'm just, like, not sweating. And I'm just like as much as not even close to as much as you do during the summer. Like, you know how it is around here or like anywhere that's warmer during the summer. Yeah. You come back and you have your clothing plastered to you. And you're just like, ugh.
I have to change a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Because even I don't really sweat that much. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to summer running very much so. But yeah, the group.
Me too.
Yeah. The group long run that we do is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll be there.
Yeah. And anyone who's watching, the Falmouth Running Club does a longest long run in the fall in preparation for Cape Cod.
And in spring.
Yep, in preparation for like Boston and other marathons around that time frame. So we'll be doing that shortly, probably when this episode is coming out, like that week or the week after. So that'll be exciting. So hopefully people will show up to that.
I think that's March 25. That's based on the email.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, I have to talk to Kathy. I have to see her for some other things this week too. So working on getting some of the ball rolling on the Cape Cod Marathon stuff.
Sweet.
It's very exciting. But okay, so I guess we'll kind of wrap it up. Any other thoughts and feelings about like running the 50 marathons? Anything that you'd like to tell people if they're looking to run the 50 states, or maybe just, hey, I love running or something like that?
I mean, if you're doing 50 states, it's either 50 or half. I just encourage people enjoy, you know, the culture and meet people, and also, you know, discover new sites. I mean, it's one good excuse, you know, it's one good memory for you, because you go running in every state, you have actually you run 26 miles. At the same time, you get a medal as an memory from every state, which is kind of cool.
Well, you kind of get, I like to call marathons expedited foot tours of like some of the high points of whatever area you're in for the most part.
Yeah.
So you get like a really cool like on foot tour.
Yeah.
Plus you get your medal, which is a lot of fun.
I mean, you don't need to buy keychain or magnet.
Yeah, which is kind of nice. You paid enough money for the entry usually, where you like the smaller races aren't like super duper expensive, nothing compared to Disney, but it's still like usually 120, 130, 150 bucks.
I paid for one of my race, like Idaho, I think I paid $40.
That's pretty good.
I know.
That's a steal right there.
But I don't think right now, it's been a while, it's been a long time, but right now I think they're getting more higher, probably 80 or more.
Yeah. Because I mean, a lot of the times like you're getting the medal and then you're also getting swag.
Yeah.
Is there any like weird swag that you got that like sticks out in your head? Like, did you get like, I don't know, like a bottle opener that's shaped like a pig's butt or something at the Flying Pig or something like that? Or I don't know, I'm just trying to think. Because sometimes I know there are certain races that you run that, like Richmond Marathon, for example.
I did that.
Yeah, so you have the blanket, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But that sticks out in my head. I ran the half and I got like the hat and the blanket, and it's like,
well, sick.
I'm trying to convince Jack to do fleece blankets.
I don't know. I don't remember. I mean, there's a lot already.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I mean, there's nothing that stick out to me for the swag that they gave me after a race. I think I would remember something like they give. I mean, if you're doing the challenge in every, like they do like a challenge in every marathon, like when you do a 5K and a marathon, half marathon, and they give you like an extra medal for that, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and you have the Chowder Challenge medal, the one that's shaped like a spoon.
Yeah, I have the spoon and I got the mug.
Yeah. It's actually a full-size spoon.
Yeah, for real.
You can actually use it to eat the chowder out of the mug if you want. It is functional, which is kind of funny. But okay. Well,
and then you're talking about the shoes, right?
Yeah. So what we'll do now is we'll do, what shoe do you choose to use? And so if you want to just tell us your favorite shoe right now, or maybe your favorite shoe this year, but whatever shoes are standing out in your head that you have really enjoyed running in, either now or recently.
So the shoes I'm using for most of my races are Adidas Adjust Pro 3.
Oh, the Adidas Pro 3?
Yeah, because
nice.
I think I have like 6 pairs because I usually buy them when they're on sale.
Wow.
I have all different colors.
Yeah. I love having all the different colors. I think it's fun.
But then they're very expensive. But I try to make an excuse that, this is my last date. That's pretty much.
How fast do you go through one of those pairs of shoes?
I would say I'll do 4 marathons, and then the rest are just half marathons.
Yeah, like runs where you don't have to put that much mileage on a shoe all at once.
But I don't use them for training. I use them like if I'm pacing. I also pace half marathons.
Oh, what organization?
So I am a member of Beast Pacing.
Oh, okay, yeah. I did a few races with them.
I also a member of, recently I became part of On Pacing.
Oh,
so I'm actually
nice.
pacing Boston Run to Remember.
Oh, okay.
In May, and then I'm also pacing Mad Marathon in July, which is in Vermont. I'm also pacing a race in Maine.
Okay.
That's gonna be May.
Okay.
With this pacing, I'm also pacing the Mother's Day half marathon in Springfield.
Oh, okay.
Which is also under piece pacing.
Nice.
So I'm doing a lot of pacing half, which is kind of fun. It's nice to support runners.
Yeah.
And get appreciated after, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, you're like, I got paid and I got appreciated.
I didn't get paid though. I got free registration.
Okay, because I know sometimes they'll pay you. Sometimes it's not usually like a big, like it's like $20, $30. It's not.
Yeah, it's not bad, but I do. It's a good training.
Yeah, it's nice too because you get to meet other people too and talk to other people who like you would have never otherwise met.
Yeah. So actually, there's a big difference if you're running fast and running on a slower pace.
Oh, yes. I've paced half marathons before, and I paced like the 3-hour half marathon, and it was so hard.
It's so hard.
It was so hard. It was like, because you have to hit, you have to be, depending on which pacing organization you're working with, somewhere between like 30 seconds to 60 seconds on either side of your finishing time. Yeah. Like you're not allowed to, like you get demoted or like a little tick next to your name if you come in more than, usually it's like a minute on one side and a minute on the other side, give or take. And
it's really painful.
Yeah, I mean,
if you're used to running fast, it's kind of hard to go slower.
Yeah, I mean, when I was running, we were running like 11.5-minute-ish miles, and it's just like, that pace is just like, it's not a walk, but it's not a run.
Yeah, it's in between.
Yeah, and I just couldn't hit it. I was having such a hard time.
For 3 hours? No.
Oh my God.
I did at 2:45, it was painful.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I don't know how people do it. I was like, I can't do this. This is too hard.
Well, the good thing about that is like, after on the finish line, some people thank you because they did a PR, which is kind of satisfying on my side. Which is I'm also thankful to support other people.
Yeah.
And, in the running community, which is kind of nice.
I think that's fantastic that you're doing that. Now, for shoes for training, what do you use for training shoes?
Right now I'm doing the New Balance.
Okay.
I forget the name, but the one with the version 3.
Oh, is it the Supercomp Trainer V3?
Fuel cell. I think.
Is it the Rebel?
I forgot.
Because fuel cell is technically the foam.
Oh, yeah, the one with the fuel cell. The foam.
Does it have a plate in it or no?
No plate.
Okay, you got the Rebel then.
Yeah.
So the New Balance Rebel V3, is it like thinner or is it like got the kind of the boxy geometry to it? Does it look kind of like angular on the side or does it look like a regular running shoe?
I don't know. I forgot. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm a shoe nerd here. This is why we ask this question, so that way I can. And every time I've done this segment so far, I'm reminded that I know too much about shoes.
It's hard. I used to run with Newton.
Oh, Newton?
Newton.
Oh, Newton.
Yeah.
Yes, Newton. Yeah.
But then they changed their design that it actually gave me plantar fasciitis.
Oh no.
So I have to change shoes. That's why I started doing
with the New Balance.
Adjust or the Hoka. I don't even like the new Hokas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Hoka foam for me is just too undurable. It's just very it compresses too quickly.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of just running on a flat piece of foam for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're the same price as the other shoes too. So I'm like, why am I paying the same price for a shoe that's going to last me half the time?
True.
So. But yeah, the New Balance Rebel, I'm a big fan. I'm pretty sure that's the one that you got.
I think so. I have two pairs that I use for training runs.
Those are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I like that shoe a lot too. So, okay. Well, fantastic. We have the New Balance Rebel and the Adidas Pro 3.
No 4 yet. They're too expensive.
Yeah, buy the used one. A lot of the times you can get away with the older model.
Yeah.
Or I'll actually buy, a lot of the times I bought like brand new shoes off like Mercari or Poshmark or eBay because people will like, they'll buy them and they don't fit or something and they tried them on too far out of the return policy window and so they'll try and sell them for like half the price on there.
That's awesome. I should do that more often.
If you want help, I'm happy to help you. I'm helping some other people right now find some shoes. At some point I'm going to do an episode about how to find used shoes that you can actually use. Because like you can buy used shoes that are destroyed, but you can buy used shoes that are either like brand new or lightly enough used where like you really can't even tell that they were used.
Awesome.
So we'll do an episode on that at some point. But thank you for sharing your shoes.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I think this was fantastic.
I hope I'll be helpful with other people and inspire people to do such.
Yeah, I think so. It's so good to see, like, within our community and, like, having people on the show who have so different experiences running and just have done, like, people think of running as kind of like a blanket thing. Like, oh, everyone who runs the same. It's like, no, they don't.
No, it's different.
Yeah, it's different for everyone, and I love that you're doing this. Congratulations again on the 50 states. That's super exciting. And Tokyo, also super exciting. But yeah, if people have questions or comments, do you have social media that you'd like to drop? So if anyone wants to ask you about?
So it's basically my Instagram and my Strava. It's my name. My first two names, IANQUINO. That's both my Instagram and Strava.
Okay, awesome. And I will link that down below in the description of the episode, both on YouTube and on Spotify.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any questions,
I'll do better on my runs.
and don't worry about it. And I feel like most of the people on Strava, like people who are actually like your friends, they don't really care like if you're running fast or not.
No, it's not a running fast because there's not much activity right now.
Well, again, you did just run Tokyo.
That's
that was
true.
like literally like a week or so ago.
I used to run a lot even after a race. Not anymore.
Yeah, but you have to pay attention to your body too. You have to listen to your body. That's half the battle right there too. So,
I'm starting my training though.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
And what exactly are you training for now?
Boston.
Oh yes, Boston.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, that feels like a late time to get training, but you did just run a full marathon.
Yep.
So I'm like, yeah, he has the miles under his feet, so it's kind of like not really that.
It's basically maintenance run now.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a half next week, and then I'm doing the long run.
The longest long run with everyone.
I'm doing Duxbury half after the long run. There's a race in Duxbury, the half marathon. They gave me like a nice hoodie.
Oh, that's fun.
Not hoodie, like the beanie.
Oh, a beanie. Yeah, one of those
they
hats.
give us, and I like it. Thank you. That's very happy.
We love it. Absolutely love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, it was great. And like I said, we will put social links so you can ask.
And the bloody photo.
Yeah, the bloody photo is going to be a little bit further back in the episode, so just go back if you want to see that again. And hopefully we'll have some other photos from you too, so hopefully you can, whatever photos you want to send me, I'm happy to throw up on the screen, you know, it's a nice time.
Yeah.
But friends, if you'd like to get in contact with us here at Runnah, and I say that like there's more than one person behind it, it's just me, you can find me at RunnahPod on Instagram and on TikTok, and then runnahpod@gmail.com. And also please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching there, and go ahead and leave us a 5-star rating if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Very much appreciated, and shout out to Maurice and Mary, who have left us 5-star reviews already. So thank you guys for doing that. We love that. But we will see you on the next episode of Runnah. Peace. Woo! I always usually leave like the little end part at the end because it's usually really cute, because it's usually people being like, woohoo, we're done. And I'm like, yeah! Woo! Thank you for listening to this episode of Runnah. This podcast is edited, hosted, and produced by me, Juliana Coughlin. Brought to you in part by the Falmouth Running Club and the Falmouth Community TV station. If you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on Instagram and on TikTok at RunnahPod. And you can send us an email at runnahpod@gmail.com. And our original theme music was brought to you by the one and the only wonderful Jeffrey Hutton. And keep up the great work. I'm proud of you.